Good evening, family. How are you all doing? Well, you already know who it is. It's your girl, Dr. Shonna. We're going to have a wonderful conversation about the new Amazon Primetime movie that is out coming to America. It has been 30 years since many of us in our community have been waiting for this sequel to come out. And now that it's finally here, I have some things to say about it. Of course, from my opinion, I would love to hear what you guys think about it as well. But before we go ahead and get started, let me go ahead and do some homekeeping or some housekeeping rather. Make sure if you are on Facebook, you like the video, share the video, engage in a comment session. Make sure people know that you are here. I appreciate everything that you guys do over there on Facebook to support this channel. You guys are lovely. If you are on my YouTube channel, to my YouTube family, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the video by hitting the subscribe button, hitting the bell so that you can be notified when I am going live. But most importantly, giving this video a thumbs up and sharing this video as well. We have some discussions. This is going to be sort of like, in a nutshell, a follow-up from yesterday's conversation. Because I watched Coming to America Part 2. And I said to myself, this is just what I talked about yesterday. And I wonder if the community has made connections. I wonder if the community is watching this video or this movie just as entertainment, like so many people who are non-critical thinkers do in our community. But hey, it's all good. I wonder if people are watching it from a critical lens to say, is this helping or hurting? Why? What's the message here? Should I be excited about this thing or should I be kind of disturbed? Because I know there's going to be some people in our community, because we talked about this yesterday when we're about to get into the topic, but I know there's going to be some people in our community that's going to find 101 reasons to say that there's no problem with it. And listen, everyone's entitled to their opinion, you know. I have my opinion, you have your opinion, we have our opinion. Everyone's entitled to it. Cool. Some people like to be entertained. By all means. I actually have a different perspective on it. But that's what we're going to get in today, family. This is what we're going to talk about today. So as I said, make sure you guys share the video. You guys got to be a part of this discussion. Everyone gets to have their opinion. Let's just keep it respectful. So now that we're going on, let's go ahead and get started. You know what? As a matter of fact, before we get started, I haven't done this in a while, so I think is only right that I give a fat shout out to all my donors that donate to this channel that make it personal. I mean, make it possible for me to wake up, watch things, research things, come on here, deliver a message, help you guys to think critically, elevate your thinking, push back against each other, but most importantly, grow in love with each other. So I want to give the fat shout out to all of those people who help keep me on the air. And I want to say thank you to Precious, thank you to Jamal, Michael, Tendico, I think that's how you pronounce it, Tendico, Lamel, William, Lindsay, Antonio, Dylan, to Kenya, Kenyatta, Nicole, Ricky, Betty, Liza, Kelly, Nicole, Antonio, Rashida, Anthony, Black Mama, Tanoka, Celeste, Michael, Earl, and Charlem, as well as Katrina, and a Michael, Dylan, Miss Shawnee, oh wow, Lawrence, Joan, Naila, Jacqueline, and somebody who just used their phone number. It starts with a 734. Pamela, Lawrence, James, Iber, Kamali, and Anwar. I want to say thank you to and Rita. Sorry, I don't want to miss Rita. Thank you to each and every one of you guys who have been donating to my Cash App. You guys are a blessing, a blessing. And I don't think people know how hard it is to be on this side of the screen and to do what we do. Like I said, when you come to this channel, when you hear Dr. Shonna speak, I'm not here to entertain you guys unless I'm having an after dark conversation. I'm in my night robe with my little drink and I'm having a conversation. Then some of it, you know, it's always a message there, but you know, that's kind of entertaining. But how often do I do that? Rarely, right? So I'm not here to entertain anybody. I'm here for us to think critically. Not that I'm here to change your thoughts and your opinion. I just want you to consider multiple angles at looking at things. So let me go ahead and get started. There's going to be so many people out here that have nothing but positive things to say about coming to America. And I respect everybody's opinion. I understand that people are raving about the fact that the producers or whoever came up with this idea has brought back the previous actors that were there. They're raving about that. And you know something, that's good. Let's keep our people employed. I get it. I know people are raving about the number of Black people who have been employed as a result of this film. And I don't take anything away from that. So I say, you know, shout out to them as well. And I feel you. I understand why you liked it because it kept Black people employed. Okay, great. There's a number of you guys out there that like it because it kept the little same theme and it was funny and they think it was just for us and by us. Shout out to you guys with your opinion. I recognize you. I see you. X off my goddamn list, but I see you, boo, non-critical motherfuckers. I see y'all, but let me go ahead. Shout out to all of y'all. I know some of y'all in the chat as well, but it's all good. It's all good. I see you. See, yesterday we talked about racial battle fatigue, right? We talked about how when people think about racial battle fatigue, they think about it from the perspective of the enemy being outside of our community. The enemy being someone that are a system that we can readily identify. A system are people who do not look like us and who we feel exploit us or take advantage of us or diminish our value or invalidate our experience and our feelings. That's how we look at racial battle fatigue. But yesterday when I spoke to you guys, community, I had a different spin on racial battle fatigue. And it takes nothing away from Dr. William Smith. I think he did a great job with coining this phrase. I think he did a great job in his research articles and papers and interviews with explaining what racial battle fatigue is. It's clear, it makes sense. It gives many of us a language who are fighting against the exploiters of our community, fighting against the oppressors of our community. But I think that we have to highlight the fact that sometimes the oppressor and the exploiter of our community is from our community. And that was my message that I had yesterday. I was so upset about this because so much is going on, and you know, racial battle fatigue is tiring, but when it's in our community, it's even worse. And like I said yesterday, it's so hard to fight against what we're up against when we're getting beat in a freaking front of our head from people who don't look like us, and we're being kicked in our goddamn domes from people who look like us. And it's crazy. It's crazy. So when I was watching this video, this movie, and thank God, you know, it didn't come in the theaters, but I guess it still did damage. But nonetheless, when I was watching this movie, thank you for that donation, Black Mama. Shout out to you. No, you're not super late. We're just getting started, Black Mama. When I was watching this film, I said, well, God damn it. We just talked about this yesterday. And it's like, you see, people might say, and I get it. There's going to be people out there and they're going to say, you know something, Dr. Shonna? Sometimes y'all just got to relax. Just take a break. Enjoy life. You know, everything is not so serious. Don't look at everything through that lens all the time. Sometimes things are just meant to be relaxed. And after everything we've been going through, we need to laugh right now. Y'all know some of y'all thinking that right now. It's all good. Beloved, I do laugh. I have a lot of fun, but not at the expense of my community, right? See, when you on this side of the seat, thank you, Jay Boogie. Jay Boogie said, white supremacy, don't relax, right? And I was just about to say, you see, Jay Boogie got to come on the show with me. You got to send me your email. You got to come on the show with me. Let me tell you something. When you on the side of this screen, you don't get to relax. When you do an advocacy, you can't take a goddamn break to laugh and then promote shit like it's just entertainment. You don't get the opportunity to do stuff like that. Because when you co-sign off of nonsense, it weakens the message. And it has the power and the ability to put our community back to sleep. I mean, are y'all with me? Because today we're talking about the Black community, right? We're talking about the Black community. This is what Sundays is about, right? Sundays is about addressing the Black community. So y'all got to be with me. If y'all don't want to hear the message, that's cool, log off. I won't get offended. Clearly, one monkey don't stop my show. I'm not going to get offended. Log off, right? But if we're going to be a part of this community and we're going to say that we're family, we have to really examine this. We have to be willing to look at ourselves as the cancers. I talked about this yesterday, correct? How you have to recognize when you are a cancer. See, people don't want to see themselves as part of the problem. It's easier to point your finger and blame everybody outside of your community and outside of yourself as the problem. It's harder to put the mirror in your face and see, how am I perpetuating the nonsense? So you got to understand one thing about movies. Now, y'all who've been in this community for a long time, y'all know I share some of my mother's wise lessons, right? And so when I say things like they, them, agenda, you know what's up. Y'all got to read in between the line. It's just like when Black people pass each other on the street. We don't have to say good afternoon. How are you? How you doing? We don't have to do stuff like that. We be like, and we already know what's up. We be like, we look at each other like, all right, I see you. We know what that means, right? We were like, let the church say amen. We know what that means. So we don't have to say certain things. So we got to watch what we say, because we got a lot of people looking in the fish bowl, and you know who's the fish. We got a lot of people in the fish bowl want to know what we doing, what we saying. So y'all got to read between the lines, right? That's right, Ian. Ian said we vibe. We just vibe. We just have that energy. It just goes through. We know what's up. So I'm gonna say some things in this video. Y'all know I'm not gonna add any titles onto it, right? You understand what I'm trying to say? So y'all gonna have to read between the lines. But see, my mama used to say just this. They don't make movies for no reason. My mama used to say, while y'all think it's funny, you better sit down and catch that message, because it's a message for your ass. That's what mama used to say. You got to understand this. I know some people don't want to understand this, but it's all good. There's a message in every movie. There's a message in every movie, right? A message in every movie. So what was the message in this movie? What was the message in this movie? This is what we're going to be talking about today. I want you guys to really start thinking about it. What was the message in this movie? Let's go on. First of all, even part one had a message. So let's go back 30 years. How many of y'all can go back 30 years? Where's my people who have seen part one when it was out in the movie theater, right? I need you to say, I saw part one, or me right here, or give me something. Let me know that you were one of those people who saw it at part one, so I can know the audience that I'm talking to, because I don't want to have to break down everything. I want my audience to know. If most of my audience knows what's up, then I can just move on. That's what I want to see, because I know I have some youngins, and I mean no disrespect to my youngins, but it's okay to be a youngin. We're going to take y'all under our wing, right? We're gonna show you a thing or two. Might have to give you one in the head a little bit, because some of y'all asses don't know how to use your brain, but we're going to bring you there, right? Right? Okay, so people were coming through. People saw part one when they were younger. So you got to understand this. Part one was cool when I was a sleeping Negro. It was cool. I still think it's funny to this day. I still think part one is funny to this day, although I see it from a different perspective now. But it's still funny to this day, right? Still funny to this day. But it was a different type of funny. You're following what I'm saying? Part one was a different type of funny. There was a message in part one. There was a message. And some of us didn't catch it. Some of us didn't catch it because many of us were still sleeping. We were some sleeping Negroes 30 years ago, right? We was sold a trick bag. Well, at least, let me rephrase that. Some of us, the boomers, Y'all know I love y'all boomers. I love my boomers. They support me big time. But some of the boomers, not all, some of the boomers was sold a trick bag and they delivered that trick bag to our generation, right? And so they didn't tell us, for the most part, what was up. We didn't get the head nod, right? From our boomer generation. Our boomer generation pretty much just told us that things would change and things were a lot better. You know, go out there, get your education, get a good job, make friends, you know, date whoever you want, love whoever you want. This is what I was taught by my mom, right? My mom taught me these kind of things. And everything will be okay. You just strive, just do well. You happy, I'm happy, just strive and do well. So I didn't understand all the messages that were in part one. And so some of the messages, I'm only going to speak about like one or two of them, but some of the messages that I picked up from part one was that our people exist across the globe, right? So I knew that from watching part one 30 years ago. I knew that, you know, we were located on the continent of Africa. We were located in Europe. We were located in the Americas. We were located in the Caribbean. We were across the globe, right? And that we all were worthy. We all had, you know, our own little culture, but we had success in every culture, right? That's some of the messages that I picked up in part one. Because here it is in part one, McDowell's was a successful father raising his daughters and wanting her to court someone who can take care of her. So the message was, if you're going to get married, it has to be with thought. It has to be with vision and meaning. It has to have a purpose. When you come from a certain family background, you want to pair up with similar people or you want to upgrade. That's the message, right? That's the message. At least in my opinion, one of the messages that I got from part one. So it really wasn't about focusing on the social ills found within our community in part one. Not necessarily. The focus was not turned on the negative lens that is often looked upon when it comes to our community. That wasn't the focus, but the focus was what success was among us and what it means to marry and to combine wealth and to increase. That's what it looked like, right? And yes, there was different levels of wealth, but the marriage was valued and the family combination, like combining of the families, were important. Traditions were important. Just all those things was the message that we got in number one, in part one, right? So Dylan Hill is saying marriage is a business, right? That's what we saw. Yes, Marjorie saying true, economic and educational statuses of the couple, right? It was one of those things that we got from part one. It also stated that whether you were from, in part one, whether you were from the motherland or you was from the diaspora that's from some other area, we all are worthy of coming together and starting a family. Like, don't pass judgment on our brothers and sisters who are a part of the diaspora. They're still worthy. They're still quality. We still can combine and do great things together, right? That's my takeaway from part one. But then let's go on to part two. Ooh, baby. See, I watched part two today. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? Y'all ready for part two? Baby. Shit. I hope y'all got a drink. I should have fixed myself a drink. Because I needed a drink after I finished watching part two. I mean, you know how long it took me to watch part two? The movie is 90 minutes or so, something like that, or 109 minutes, some crap. You know how long it took me to watch it? Maybe 4 or 5 hours. I just had to stop it numerous times. I was like, this is garbage. But because I knew I wanted to come to talk to you guys, I watched it. See, let's make no mistake. We understand that Zamunda and Wakanda are fictionary places. They're made up. They don't exist. But we also understand propaganda's role when it comes to the human mind. We also understand that we are not the only ones being entertained by this movie. We're not the only ones receiving the subliminal messages from this movie. See, it's not just us. You got to understand that. So we got to be very careful about just thinking this is entertainment, or just chucking it up to be laughter and fun and stop being so serious. Like I said, when you're on this side of the screen, you don't get to just go to sleep and be like, oh, that was so great. I hope everybody in the world sees it. Because there are some very painful and dangerous messages in part 2. Somebody says, spoiler alert. No, I ain't trying to spoil it. I'm not going to tell all the parts. Audra, that's so cute. No, I promise you, I'm not gonna do too much. I ain't gonna do too much. But I think I just gotta talk about what I see. And this is for my opinion. Y'all can have your opinions, all cool. But you visited my house. So this here, my platform. This here, my juke joint. Because I get to say what I want to say, right? So let's talk about part 2. The message I'm taking away in part 2 is that we're not the same. Part 1, regardless of where you are, we're the same. We're brothers and sisters. Continue the legacy. Let's build. Let's do something great. Part 2, we're not the same. Am I the only one that caught that? Part 2, be cautious of intermarrying or mixing with ADOS. Okay, y'all ain't gonna like this. I could tell y'all ain't gonna like this. I don't care. Y'all ready for it. Y'all ain't gonna like it either, but that's part 2. We're not the same. Be careful of mixing with them blacks from America. Be careful. See, there was a lot of subliminals in there, and I'm not sure if it was caught by many. It's a lot of subliminals. Some of the subliminals I picked up is, and now I'm not saying this is what I believe. I'm not saying, I want to make that very clear. Dr. Shonna is not saying that this is what she believes. Dr. Shonna is saying, be careful of the subliminals. Be careful of the subliminals because they're there and they will take root in your subconscious mind. And what it is doing is bringing into existence somebody's already pre-existent thought process. Oh, y'all ain't hear me. Y'all ain't ready for this. Let me back up. Sorry for moving the camera. Let me back up because y'all not ready for this. Before I get into the subliminals. Think about this. Somebody gets an idea. You know what would be a good topic to discuss? What's really going on within our community? See, it all starts with a thought. And this is how I see it. So let me write this down in a screenplay. This is how I see it. I mean, it's ridiculous what's going on, but we can make fun of this because this is what's actually happening. Let's write it down. Let's put it into a screenplay. Then let's pitch it. Let's get some money and let's mass produce it and get it out for everyone to see it. So when I say there's subliminals there, we got to understand that subliminals first start in the mind of another, someone's thoughts, someone's beliefs that they want to put out there to take root in your subconscious and to control how you think. And if you control someone's thinking, what else you control? You control their decisions. You can control their behaviors, their actions, their words. You think about it. It's a serious business. But what were some of the subliminals? Here's the thing. Some of the subliminals. In this movie, I felt that the message was Africans are our brothers and sisters from the continent of Africa. Look down on our brothers and sisters that have been displaced or, not displaced, we're not displaced, has been kidnapped and planted in America. Look down upon us. Now, I don't want to spoil the movie. But this was somebody's thought. And this came to the screen. And how ironic that this is our conversation, our argument with each other today, 2021. How ironic, if you go through Twitter, you'll see some of the back and forth arguments, fights, debates. You will see it among our brothers and sisters from the continent to those here. You'll see it. And you see what so many, now I know this is going to bother some of y'all, but I don't care. I'm telling you the truth. You will see that so many of our brothers and sisters Too many. See, some of y'all not engaged in the conversation. Some of y'all don't watch the right YouTube videos that are done. Some of you guys don't read the right articles that are put out or the right blogs that are put out. Some of y'all don't go through Twitter and engage in these conversations, but some of our brothers and sisters from the continent are outright disrespectful toward us. All types of demeaning names, stereotypes, belief systems. I'm just telling you like I see it. Outright disrespectful. And that's the subliminal I picked up in that movie. That bothered me. Another subliminal I picked up in that movie is they have wealth, we don't. Y'all heard me? They have wealth. Their children are cultured. They come from somewhere. Now, we know that this is not the truth for the entire continent, but that's the narrative. That's the narrative. A lot of their children have gone to different places, gone off to boarding schools outside of their country, gotten educated outside of their country, and come back. A lot of the children are here on their own. They're in the UK on their own while their family's still in whatever country they're from. It's a lot of that out there. So I sort of felt like the message was the haves and the have-nots. Because it really didn't show equality. It really didn't show you're equal in your own right over there. You have your education, your wealth, and then like how part one did it. And then here's what education and wealth looks like in America. It didn't really show that, right? So part one is like your wealth is a lot more because that's your land. You get to do what you do, and you have your customs, your tradition, your culture, all that stuff. Whereas here, even though you might make it, you can only make it but so far because of white supremacy and racism. So, but when you make it good in comparison to your other brothers and sisters in America who may not make it as well as you. So even though you're not living like, them, you're doing well in your class of people. Y'all caught that? You caught that? Right? But I want you to understand that in part two, that wasn't the message. The message was we have and you don't. That was the subliminal. Another subliminal is ADOS are immortal. Y'all don't have mortals. I mean, not immortal, immoral. I apologize. ADOS is immoral. No morals. Right? The way y'all just live are like uncivilized ratchet beings. Y'all just ridiculous. Ignorant, always sounding ignorant. Y'all don't even know how to have class. Bring you into royalty. You don't even know how to conduct yourself. Right? You guys are a hot mess. You're struggling. Your black men are struggling. All of y'all got poverty issues. Y'all all over the place. And so if that is the message, one would come to believe that that's not the case on the continent. One would come to believe that our brothers and sisters on the continent live a very different life than we do. A life that is filled with morals. Especially if you're not read or learned. It's a lot of shit going on in the continent. And don't get it twisted and don't get it messed up. Even the divorce rate is high in many countries on the continent. I read the journals, the research journals coming from the continent all the time. I read it all the time. I'm like, whoa, this is what's happening. Whoa. A lot of things are high over there, especially the disregard and the disrespect for women. Very high. But if you look at that movie, it would make it seem like they live a great life. And these African Americans, heathens, you animals. Animals. You poor animals. That's another subliminal. You poor animals. Right? So when you really think about it, I want you to know this. The reason why I have a problem with this is because, let me tell you all the people that reviewed it. And here's Wallace. Look at Wallace. Wallace is in his bag. Now, what do y'all know about me when I talk about emotions? What do I say about emotions? It has no place where. It has no place here. So Wallace, take your little emotional ass somewhere because you're very emotional, Wallace. It's okay, Wallace. We understand people like you. Drop your age, Wallace. Let's see how old you are. Tell us your age, Wallace, because we're critical thinkers. You just tell us your age and we're going to know everything about you, Wallace. Right? Oh, I bet y'all want to guess Wallace's age? Let's guess his age. Drop your age, Wallace, because your emotional ass ain't got no place over here, right? His emotional ass. Somebody get him. See, I was going to say something that was not going to be nice. He needs a hot water bag to put on his stomach. Calm those cramps. But let's see why it's a problem. Let me tell you why it's a problem. Let me read something to you guys. Let's see all the venues or all the sources that have provided a critical review on this film. And then you guys catch the stream. New York Times, Time Magazine, Variety, Real Views, Rolling Stone, Salon, Vox, Roger and Ebert, Observer, Washington Post. What do all these reviews have in common? What do all of these reviews have in common? See, it's always people within our family that says, there's nothing wrong with it. It's just entertainment. What do these reviewers have in common? Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. Thank y'all. I ain't got to say it out loud. Y'all already know what's up. Do you know if you go to other channels outside of us, I'll name one channel for you, but you guys can go ahead and do your own research. But if you go to other channels outside of us, such as one of my favorite channels to watch, one of them is Asian Boss. How many of y'all know about Asian Boss? How many of y'all know about that YouTube channel, Asian Boss? On Asian Boss on YouTube, there are quite a few episodes where they go into various Asian nations and Southeast Asian nations, and they ask them for their opinion about what they think about certain things in America, Black people, hip hop, the race things that's going on. They ask them all these questions. And if you listen to these interviews, see, most of the interviews are done in their native language. So you have to be patient enough to read the subtitles. And if it goes too fast, you're going to have to pause it, read it, press play. So a video that might be 14, 20 minutes might take you an hour to read if you don't read as fast as there's subtitles. But you have to have patience, because that's what it looks like to be a critical thinker. In order for you to increase your thought process and to analyze things from multiple angles, that's what you have to have, is patience to be able to do it. And you have to be willing to sit and dedicate hours of your time. This is why I thank people who donate into me, because it takes hours to do this. This is not me just waking up and saying, oh, I'm going to talk about that, right? I'm going to talk about that today. No. It takes hours to do this. And as I've gone on to Asian Boss and I watched some of these things, many of these different types of Asian people from different areas that Asian Boss covers, they have all said they really haven't come in contact with Black people, and what they learn about us is watching media from America. Same thing with Indians. When Asian Boss goes into Indian countries and they ask them the same question, they say, from TV, from America, from the news, international news, what America puts out there. That's how they learned about Black people. And we already know the job that America does with portraying and highlighting Black people on mass media. So when people say, I don't see it as a problem, it's not a problem. Why is it a big deal? When people get in their feelings, right? And they get all emotional and they make these kind of comments. This is what they're saying. They're saying that I haven't done my research. I'm not a critical thinker. And I don't believe that what's being put out in movies, on television, or social media really impacts our community and how people think about us. This is what they're saying when they're non-critical thinkers. I said yesterday in my video that we're fighting a larger system outside of us that we all can readily identify because it's gross. The incidents and attacks towards our community is gross and it's obvious. So we can see that enemy clearly. And then we know who we're fighting because it's evident. But then there is a system within our community. And we can't see that enemy as clearly because that enemy looks just like us. Right? We can't see it clearly. So when we really think about it, the enemy or the system that I have a problem with within our community is our mindset. It's our mindset. It's how we go about processing information, how we go about analyzing information, and how do we go about critical discussions. That's a problem within our community. We have to recognize that mass media is a vehicle to deliver harmful messages to our community. So when I hear people from my community, or our community rather, when I hear people say, so you think that celebrities are really setting out to hurt us? You think that, they would take roles if they thought it was going to hurt us? Yes, I do. See, it's people like that makes those comments that are not critical in their thoughts. Do you know that most of the time when we have gone down, when we have been infiltrated, when we have been destroyed, when we have been killed, a lot of times it came from our own people. Do you not realize that? So when you ask me a question like that, I think it's the dumbest non-critical question I've ever heard in my life. And when people say there are no stupid questions, yeah, there are stupid questions. There are. I don't know who told you that, who didn't want to hurt your feelings, but there are stupid questions. Stupid questions are non-critical questions. So when you ask me, do you really think celebrities would hurt? When you are out for the bag, when your love of money is more important than the message you are putting out, absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. There's a such thing called indirect harm. Absolutely. Because what's happening is they're at a crossroad when they know that they're artists, they're actors, actresses, and they're saying, I really don't want to play the role of the crackhead who has kids in foster care and ain't doing a good job and comes from a broken home and a life of poverty, but I want to work. I really understand how putting this message out there is going to be harmful to our community. I get it. I don't want to play the crackhead role, but I got to work. To sit up here and tell me, do I really think that they will cause harm to our community? That just lets me know where you're at in your head and in your thinking. It's crazy. We got to understand there is a system in our community that's outside of the largest system, but the system in our community actually helps the largest system that hurts our community. You understand what I'm trying to say? You have to understand that Black faces will always contribute to our downfall and our struggle. I need to say that again. Black faces will always contribute to our downfall and our struggle. And the fact that some of us don't realize that is frightening. See, because the weapons of the war has shifted just a little bit. Back in the days, a Black face would, shoot one of their own people that was in the movement trying to awaken the people. stabbed them. Remember the video I shared with the lady that stabbed Dr. King, blah, got him and almost killed him. Remember that? We know Malcolm X, even though it was a setup, black people always take the fall. Black people always do it. They always contribute to our struggle and our downfall. Always do it. Always do it. There's a lot of things out there where we have set up our own people. And we got to understand that this is never going to stop. That's why our thoughts have to be critical. So what are some of the critical questions that I have as it relates to this film? Right? I want you guys to ask your critical questions about this film. But let me tell you some of the critical questions that I have. I asked myself, after 30 years of waiting for a sequel, why now? Right? After 30 years of waiting for a sequel, why now? Somebody asked something. I saw something. Let me see. Oh, damn. It went too fast. I'm sorry. I think the person's name was Tanya asked the question. You might have to put it there. Why now? Why now? After 30 years? I want you guys to think about that. Why is this coming out 30 years later? I don't have the answer to that. This is what I want us to start doing. I want us to start, when we see things that is meant to be entertainment, it is so-called for us and by us, so-called. I want us to really start asking critical questions. So for that movie, my question is, why now? And what are the messages? So some of my critical thought questions or critical thinking I started to jot down was, is a message a shot at single American mothers? I don't know. Is it a shot at us? Because there's a lot of single mothers in the continent of Africa. I meet so many African men and women who did not grow with their fathers in a home. So many of them. I read about so many of them as well. I look at the research about the number of single homes that are growing in a lot of these countries. So why is the message looking like it's turned on us in this movie? Is it a shot at African leadership and African corruption? Is it a shot of how they work? Like the whole damn system over there is corrupt. Is that a shot? Is that the message? I wasn't too sure. I was trying to figure out what was happening between Wesley Snipes, or his name was like Izzy or something like that, right? And King Akeem. And the deal that they made. So I said, ooh, that's quite interesting. What's that message? Is the message African versus ADOS marital customs are different? Is that the message? Is the message that, yeah, we can use the ADOS community to profit? This is all the stuff that was mentioned in the movie. See, I'm not just coming up with these questions out of nowhere. This is what was mentioned in the movie. When Izzy, Wesley Snipes, was talking to our king, Eddie Murphy. And what kind of deal was they working out for a profit? Just wondering. Is the message that marriage in America has no value? Marriage in America is for like entertainment purposes. Why do I say that part? Remember the I don't want to give away any of the scenes. I want you guys to go look at the movie yourself. But remember about when his prince went back to America and took the woman that he wanted to marry, and they was going to marry in that little rinky-dink church. And the same pastor from part one was in this church, and he's supposed to be leading this marriage between these two. Is it a joke? Right? What's the message? Was the message that marriage, if you get married in America, us getting married in America doesn't require wealth? Is the message that we just marry because we think we love somebody, we don't really understand the structure or the social construct of marriage? Is that the message? Because y'all do know that marriage is a social construct, right? You do know that marriage is to maintain wealth and to increase wealth, right? Y'all do know that. If not, go do your research. Maybe that was the message. Maybe the message was making a mockery of Christianity, because they did a great job in the movie to make, I mean, well, you know, half of us, that's a whole nother conversation. Christianity is a whole nother conversation. But this movie did a great job with making a mockery of the Christianity. Here you got this pastor with all his little dancing he's doing in the movie with his socks. He ain't even got no shoes on. He got on black socks, skinny legs, no pants under his robe, and all you see is a cross in the background. Subliminal. You see a cross in the background. Subliminal. I'm just saying. Right? And then even when Eddie Murphy in the movie, he couldn't even say house of God. He was like house of, right? A mockery. Like sort of like, y'all call this a house of God. What God are you talking about? Whose God are you talking about? Did y'all catch that? For those of y'all family who seen the movie, did y'all catch that? Did y'all see how Eddie Murphy was like a house of, like, you guys are calling this God? Whose God is this? Not my God. Maybe it's your God, but did y'all catch that? I'm just wondering. Or is the message possibly that ADOS, y'all welcome home, come on back to the motherland, come on back home, but let me let you know this and make this very clear. You will never rule in Africa. So you want to know, how did I get to that part, right? How did I arrive there? Do you remember that when they came back and they decided that Prince, whatever his name was in the movie, Eddie Murphy's bastard son. They kept saying bastard son, bastard son. See, y'all think these things are jokes. This ain't a joke. This is not a joke, but they kept saying bastard son, bastard son. So Eddie Murphy's Prince, King Akeem's bastard son, at the end of the movie, they decided that he was not going to rule over the kingdom. He came back home. They allowed him to come back home, be a part of the family, but you're not going to rule over the kingdom. My daughter's going to rule. We're going to break this custom. My daughter's going to rule. Or was the message that African women will start ruling at larger numbers Africa? We already know. I already did a video and I showed you guys that there are plenty of, not plenty, but there are a number of African women or women rulers across the world, including in Africa, right? So, or is that the message? Because you know what I say, the new world order is at play. And you know the new world order is going to change a lot of things. I don't know. Right? Yes, somebody said they actually called him bastard son. They sure did call him bastard son. They sure did. See, here's what Cash, and then put Cash up there. Cash is saying Lisa was a queen though. She ruled. Oh, but look at how they was looking at her with such disgrace when she started to connect back to where she came from. When the bastard son's mother brought out her New York style and they were singing all the hip hop and stuff, and even though she was intoxicated, they looking at her. And remember, she said in the room to her husband, "When I finally connected with somebody from home." What do you think that means? What do you think that means? I'm just saying. Right? I'm just saying, what do you think that means? Somebody wrote something. I want to put it up there. Here it goes. Yeah, that was very disturbing, calling him a bastard son. But that's cool, right? That's cool. That's cool. When you have all these people, you have Time Magazine, you have New York Times, you have the Washington Post, you have the Observer, you have Rolling Stone, Roger and Ebert, you got Vox, you have Salon, you have Variety, you have Real Views, you have all these people watching it. But that's cool, because that's exactly how they see our asses. So here's what I'm saying. Here's what Black News is saying. Stick to therapy. Black News, let me educate you on Black News, because one thing you don't know about me, but I'm about to educate you. I am a social worker. Social workers are all about social advocacy and social justice. And as an advocate and a warrior of social justice, I'm not here to make you feel comfortable. I don't know any social justice advocate in the world that's there to make you feel comfortable. So if you got a problem with my message, the only thing you have to do is click off. That's all you have to do. It's simple. So you need people like me in therapy to help people like you, because it's psychotic to stay on a place that you don't like. It's not even healthy for you. I would never sit and listen to a broadcast of somebody I don't like. I would never sit and listen to a broadcast if I think the message is harmful or hurtful. I would never do it. I would never sit and listen to a broadcast that I felt was hateful. I wouldn't do that to my mental health. So who has the problem? Who has the problem? Right? Who has the problem? Got to really think about that. Truth Seekers, a social worker too. Shout out to you, Truth Seekers. So you know what we're talking about. That's the tenement of what we do. It's about social justice. Stick to therapy. This is therapy for your crazy ass. You need to sit down and take some notes and elevate your thinking. That's what low-minded people do, right? Low-minded people can never think critically. They want to take insults or spew insults or take shots. That's what they do. When you're not a critical thinker, that's what you do, right? That's what you do. But nonetheless, I got to help some people out, because I understand that some people are crazy. That's right, Tanya. Let me put Tanya up there. You are absolutely right, Tanya. Racial battle fatigue. And this is exactly what I was saying yesterday. This shit is tiring. It's like we're fighting one system, and then we're turning around and we're fighting a system within our community. And then the problem is, when we're fighting a system in our community, the people that we're trying to help protect can't see it, because they're so brainwashed. They're so conditioned. They're so used to being entertained that they now see us as, oh God, you guys are always saying something. You guys are always doing something. And then when things sneak up on their ass and actually hurts them, and the hurt becomes obvious, then they want people to show up and advocate on their behalf. It's crazy. That's right, Dylan. Low frequency thinking is absolutely crazy. Right? Yes, that's why somebody said it's a tool of white supremacy. That's all it is. It's a tool of white supremacy. All these, I said, why are these people writing such reviews on a movie? You got to understand, so y'all thinking it's just an easy, like, oh, they're just writing reviews and they're giving it a thumbs down. It's not a big deal. It's just a review. This is what we'll start to think. But you got to understand, when you put a review out, even when a review is negative, people are automatically going to become interested in seeing it, because they want to see what everyone else is seeing, or they're going to see something different, or what people are not seeing. Even me just doing this commentary today, it is not a review. I'm not writing a review. It's critical thinking commentary. Even with me doing this, people are now saying, well, I'm going to go watch it. I'm going to go watch it to see what's really in there, see what it's about. People are even saying that. So just like you guys, some of you guys are going to go watch it who have not seen it. Guess what's going to happen when those people read the reviews? And you know what? We're always a mockery. People always like to make fun of us. People always like to laugh at our community. I talked about this in great detail yesterday. So why am I upset? It's for that reason. It's for that reason. Let me see you write a review that this is great about our lives and the great stuff that's happening in our community, the great stuff that happened in our lives. Let's see y'all write reviews on those kind of things. Let's see y'all create movies about those kind of things and write an awesome review on it. See, the thing is, the problem that I'm having, I'm going to say this and I'm out. The problem that I'm having in our community is that we're not pushing back against those kind of things. People who have the power to be able to create the films, we need to support those films that are uplifting films, those films that can condition the mind of our children to be greater, to do greater things, films that promote the positivity that is found in our community, film that starts the dialogue that can actually help our community and not keep us traumatized or not keep us paralyzed. You think they're going to write a film on that kind of movie? You think they're going to write a review on a film that promotes the greatness in us, or a film that's promoting us to be doctors and scientists and lawyers and accountants and builders of homes and owners of real estate? You think that they're going to write reviews on those kind of movies? You think Time magazine is going to pick up on those kind of movies, and Washington Post and Vox and Roger and Ebert? You think they're going to pick up on those kind of movies? But yet we sit down and we say, it's no big deal. Right? That's right. Somebody said here, ain't no money educating Black people that just want to be entertained. It isn't. They're not going to do that. Right? Ashley saying we smiling and joking, going along with the ish. Absolutely. Right? We're just smiling and joking, going along with it. Tiara, let's help you out. What are you confused about, Tiara? We don't want you to be confused. And why is it funny that you're confused? When you say laugh aloud, I'm confused, but I'm here to learn. Why is it funny that you're confused? What's the humor in that? Maybe there is humor. We want to laugh with you. We don't want you to laugh by yourself, Tiara. So write it. What are you confused about? Right? Racism has so many moving parts. It's disgusting. It absolutely does. So I'm about to log off. I wanted Tiara to come back and tell me what she was confused about. No, it's not okay. So Wrestling 101 says, so it's okay, Daryl, to insult Akeem in the first movie. No, that wasn't okay either. And I asked you guys at the beginning, I don't know the person that Wrestling 101, maybe you're a white guy, I don't know. I'm going to entertain you for just a moment. If you're not a white guy, you're a Black guy, I don't know why you even have that white little photo, but that's a whole nother conversation. So I'm assuming that you're white. So I'm going to entertain you for just a moment. Wrestling 101, don't even want to use your name. Right? I'm going to entertain Wrestling. I can tell that he's a person that just stop by and want to start some shit. But I'm entertain him. Like I said at the very beginning, Wrestling 101, I said there was a lot of innuendos. There's a lot of subliminals. And I said to the people, why don't you guys point out some of the subliminals that you remember from part one? I shared some of mine. And I said, why don't you guys share some of yours? Right? Wrestling 101, get out your bag. Your emotions have no place here. But as I was saying, I shared that. And I asked, and I said, this movie, both of them has subliminals. And I said, 30 years ago, for those of us who were young enough to remember it coming to the movie theater, we were not awake and we were not looking at movies for the messages because we were just being entertained. Because our struggle was asleep then. Many of us was asleep. So I'm just going to just say that to you. I want you guys to think about it. Damn, he can't just like wrestling. I listen, I don't know why somebody would put that as their picture, but you can do whatever you want to do. Who cares? But just like he can say something stupid on my feed, I can say something stupid about his picture. So if you wanna go and support him and rub his back and join his army, by all means, go ahead and support him. D Misa 09. Go to his wrestling match and support him. But anyway, I love every last one of you guys. Just a thought. I will be back on a Mental Health Friday. Somebody asked me to look at some video. Whoever asked me to watch a video, I think you said on Oprah, somebody put that back up there again so I can see what video you want me to watch on Oprah, or you can send it to me in my email, right? I'm trying to see if you're going to put up there before I log off. But somebody said something about watching an interview on Oprah. I need you to put back up there, or you can just hit me in my inbox on Instagram, and I will go ahead and watch it. And I'll consider if I'm going to do something. Here's my Instagram channel. I mean, I already told you guys my Instagram channel. Thank you to all the ladies who have joined Iris, the relationship coaching for women. It's been a really good one. We're learning about attachment styles and how we're showing up in our relationships to other people, including our intimate romantic relationships. So I really want to thank you guys for being a part of that community as well. Listen, family, the donations, I want to say thank you. I appreciate you guys so much. I love every last one of them. Somebody says Meghan Markle, Oprah. Okay, got it. Oprah and Meghan Markle. I will look at it. Thank you so much. I love every last one of you guys. Be blessed. Go ahead and watch Coming to America. Go ahead and be entertained. Go to sleep, as many of you guys always do. Go to sleep. Ignore it. Call it a day. And continue to participate in the foolery of this system that is not working for us. Have a blessed day. I hope all of you guys have a great night.